The piece that we just premiered is a piece called Schick Machine, and it's actually named for the main performer of the work, Stephen Schick, who's a remarkable percussionist. I worked with a longtime friend named Alex Stahl, someone who I met probably in the early 1980s, and who for years had been telling me that he had some great Max patches that could replace some of the hardware that I'd been using and traveling with these big, heavy cases of loopers and signal processors and things like that. And my group had stepped into the world of Max about 5 or 6 years ago, using it mostly on front of house for the signal processing, for triggering loops, for creating simple kinds of setups. But nothing as complicated as my live performance live looping setup, which is a very exacting and very relatively complex challenge. So I got together with Alex and we had extensive meetings where I talked about and designed. I said, this is the features that I needed to do. This is how I want to interface with it. This is the kind of performance technique that I need to be able to duplicate. And he said, I can do this. And he came up with, through multiple steps, but very quickly, he had honed in very quickly on exactly what I needed. And then we went through a number of iterations of the program, or the patch that he wrote, containing a very elegant graphical interface and ways for both two people to actually use the machine at once. In the performance, Stephen Schick, who was playing on a variety of instruments, some of the instruments he has a set of foot controls in front of him that he can trigger the looping and the various parts of the Max patch. But I'm also off stage, looking at exactly the same screen and with a mouse, controlling exactly the same parameters. So we are both able to, depending on the part of the piece, access the entire program that we're using. Alex designed this very elegant graphical interface, and if you look at the video of the performance, when he's playing what we call the giant hurdy-gurdy, he actually has a computer screen in front of him, and he's able to get feedback from the screen from the foot controls that he's doing. So he's triggering the functions of the patch with a MIDI foot controller that is turning on and off loops, that is mixing channels, that's resetting the whole system, that kind of thing. And I'm able to do the same thing off stage from another screen. Matt Heckert's work also, the machine control is done entirely through Max as well. He has a very different sort of front end. So in the performance, I'm running two computers. I'm running the audio computer with a program that Alex Stahl designed, and then I'm running the machine control computer with a separate program that Matt has given me. And they have very different looks, and of course they have to do very different things. But fortunately in the piece, I'm never having to run them both at the same time. And I'm able to just move and focus on one machine or the other. And it's been a really incredibly easy adaptation of moving from all the hardware that I used to use for my audio looping to the Max Looper, and at the same time having a very elegant and simple setup that is very easily adapted to the specifics that we needed for Matt Heckert's work. One of the reasons why I wanted to work with Matt was because of the element of danger. I always found that danger is a very compelling theatrical value, whether it's real danger or whether it's perceived danger. For instance, there are things that go on in the piece. Matt has this big disc. It's behind me here, actually. I think this thing here. This thing here spins really fast during the performance. I mean, we're terrified of it. We've asked him many times, are you sure? Nothing can go wrong. He's just positive. It's going to be fine. It's going to look dangerous, but it's going to be just fine. Because the whole platform it's on is shaking as it's going around. And of course, it's very noisy as it spins as well. So the net effect is one of perceived danger that Matt says there's actually no danger, but the audience perceives it, and the performer can interact with it in different ways where that danger dynamic is a very important part of his character development and of the narrative that we're telling.